I'm Thor with Deslauriers, and we're getting a lot of questions from a lot of our customers wanting to talk about the controller that is on our Cure Plus 3 and our Cure Max field curing boxes for concrete test cylinders and beams for that matter. So we're going to spend a little bit of time here talking about how you program this controller so that you can get it right when it shows up to your lab and you can set it up right out of the box. So the controller is actually on the back of the unit, so we have this flipped around so that we can see it. There are only 4 buttons on this controller. There's a power button, which just has a little power symbol on it. And then below that is the S button, S as in set. So we'll refer to that as the set button. It just has an S on it. And then you have an up arrow and a down arrow. And that's all there is there. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by powering this on, and we're just going to push this power button and hold it until it beeps. And there's our beep. Okay, so now the unit is on, and what it's doing is it's reading the internal temperature of this curing box right now. We had it set on 70 degrees and it's reading 69.9, so we know it's working. Okay, now we want to first check and make sure that this is on Fahrenheit. That's assuming that you want it on Fahrenheit. It could be on Celsius, so we're going to check that. So we want to get into the setting system by pressing and holding this set button until it beeps. There we go. Now it's showing F1. There are 5 F subdivisions within this, F1 through F5. F5 is what we want for the Celsius versus Fahrenheit. So I'm going to press this again because it went back. We'll hold it. And then we're going to use the up arrow or down arrow, and we're going to go to F5. Now what we're going to do is we're going to press the set button. We can change it. I can go back to F5, hold this, and press the arrow button, and see how it changes to a C? That means now it's on Celsius. I'm going to put it back on Fahrenheit. There we go. Now we're back on Fahrenheit. Now if I just leave it alone, it will reset back to reading what the internal temperature is. So we're going to let it go ahead and do that. Then we're going to go and we're going to talk about setting the internal temperature. Now we're back to reading what's inside. Now the internal temperature is F1. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the set button and hold it. F1 comes up. I'm going to press it again and hold it. And now it's set on 70. I can move it up to 71, 72. I can move it down to 69. As a general rule, you're going to want this set at 70. But if you can see this, there's a large 7 and a little baby 0, and it's in full degrees. So don't be fooled by that. It's not 7.0 degrees, it's 70. It only shows in full degrees. So the internal temperature is now set at 70. And these instructions are written out too, okay, but never underestimate the power of a video, right? Now we're going to move on. We've set the internal temperature. Now let's look at F2. And F2 is the preset for the temperature range. So we're going to hold the set button. There we go. Now we'll go to F2. Okay, we'll hold the set button again. It's set on 3 degrees Fahrenheit, which means it will kick on and off in a 3 degree, plus or minus 3 degree range. So if it gets 3 degrees above 70, the cooling will kick on. If it gets 3 degrees below 70, the heat will kick on. Okay, that's pretty much it for you. Those are the main things you need to do. F4 is for calibrating, and honestly, if you get into a calibration situation, you probably need to make a phone call. So I'm not even going to show you the F4. Then when you're done and you go to bring your cylinders back to the lab and take them out of this, we'll talk a little bit about what's inside of this and how you've got a permanent record of what this temperature has been for the time that the cylinders were in there.